to order, and if we can have the adoption of the agenda, or the minutes, please.
For special regular.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried.
Move the minutes be received for November 3rd Council and Committee.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried.
Move the minutes be adopted for regular Council Land Use November 3rd.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried.
Move minutes be received, Finance Committee, November 3rd.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried.
And move recommendations be adopted.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? Carried.
And move the minutes be adopted for public hearing November 3rd.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Okay. Delegations. Madam Clerk.
Madam Mayor, the Melanie Bolden and Linda Stromberg from the Surrey Libraries is present and would like to make a presentation to you.
Oh, alrighty. Welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council, and thank you, City Clerk, for this opportunity. We wish to recognize Mayor Watts for her work throughout the years in literacy, for supporting literacy for Surrey and supporting Surrey Libraries. We have, on your behalf, made a donation of books to Sophie's Place. We have a collection of popular children's books with book plates inside that read, "This book was donated to Sophie's Place by the Library Board of Trustees 2014 in recognition of Mayor Watt's ongoing support of Surrey Libraries." We can't thank you enough, and it's a real honor to make this presentation to you on behalf of the Library and Library Board tonight.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
And I would just like to say, on support of Surrey Library staff, that we do really appreciate the support that you've shown for our Read to Baby program, and particularly for the building of our fabulous new City Centre Library that we know wouldn't have happened without your support. So thank you. And we do have a card that Jane now has. And congratulations and good luck.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for choosing Sophie's Place for that donation. For those of you that don't know what Sophie's Place is, it's a child advocacy center dealing with children under the age of 14 who have been emotionally, sexually, and physically abused. And this gives them an opportunity to really take their mind off the situation they're in, for a very short period of time. But I thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you so much, and we always appreciate the work, the good work that our library board and staff do. It's quite remarkable, some of the programs they've got underway right now, so thank you very much. Okay, Madam Clerk.
The first bylaw is zoning amendment bylaw 18328. The civic address is 7053 144 A Street, 14433 and 14455 70A Avenue. The applicant is Gurpel and Sharanjit Gill, 069940 BC Limited. The applicant is seeking to rezone the site from 1 acre residential and single-family residential 9 coach house to single-family residential 9 coach house, single-family residential 10 semi-detached residential in order to subdivide into 3 single-family small lots and 4 semi-detached single-family lots.
Okay, thank you very much. And I have one speaker, Parminder Harry. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Parminder Hare, and I live at 7083 144 B Street. Okay. And I'm concerning about these lots 1, 4, 4, 5. And some of the senior people sit down there. They play cards down there. and we don't have any park on this area. And we done some petition for the senior parks and children playground for that property. And I didn't get time to speak with the owner. We are certainly like to work, if a city can work with them to get a park or senior place to sit down there, that will be good, They can subdivide some other lots where they have a sign ready, say houses on there, and there's one lot, the empty lot, that's where we wanted senior benches been put on that property.
Can I see an overview? Okay, so
It's 1445.
right. Okay, so
That property, I think, I don't know if it's a half an acre or 1.5 acre. It's a quite a big lot. And what I want, there's a ready house on one lot, and one lot is empty. And we are talking about the one lot is empty, where the senior people sit there, they play a card down there, and we like to have leave it as it for the senior and for the children.
okay, so you want the owner to
If he cooperation with the city hall, that will be good, we can.
Well,
We already done some petition on that property, All the neighborhoods want parks down that place.
right, but that's private property, so we don't own that.
No, city don't own, but city can buy that property.
Oh,
Yes, they can put the parks down there. When those townhouses been built on that property, those area, they never thought they need anybody but need a park down there. Now we need it,
okay. And what is the green space on the other side there? Okay, that's the cemetery. But isn't there gardens and okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
comments. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to speak to this bylaw? Number 18328, first call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Next bylaw is zoning amendment bylaw 18338. The civic addresses are 8120, 2838, 40, 4858, and 8166 128th Street. Then 12877, 85, and 99 80th Avenue. The applicants are the owners of Strata Plan BCS 1022. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property within its current commercial development designation to allow a wider range of commercial uses, eliminate the restrictions on retail floor area, and update the signage and landscaping requirements to comply with the design guidelines of the Central Newton Cultural Commercial District. In addition, a development variance permit is being sought to reduce the minimum parking requirement from 1,674 spaces to 1,077 spaces.
Okay. And there's two speakers. Peter Sivers. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. So, and just maybe just before you speak, sir, just for clarification from planning here, we're not taking away any parking, correct?
That's correct. We are not taking any.
So it's the same amount of parking that is existing currently, and because of the zoning change to commercial?
Yes, because it changes to commercial, there is a potential, because it's commercial, then the standard for parking is increased. However, they are keeping the existing same number of parking on the site, which is 1,077 stalls.
Okay.
So what we're relaxing is if some of those go into commercial, which carries a higher parking standard, we are relaxing that to meet with the existing number of stalls.
To the existing number. Okay. Because I know there was some confusion on that. Okay, sir, please go ahead.
My name is Peter von Sievers. Thank you for hearing me.
Can I get your address?
Oh, sorry, 8128 128th Street. I'm one of the Strata owners. This current, since you started with parking lots, the parking spaces in the complex right now are pretty much maxed out. There's about 30% of the buildings that are not occupied, when those 30% fill up with even low-density small shops and things like that, parking is going to be at a premium. To expect that somebody to put in some kind of zoning which is going to allow larger department stores or anything to draw a larger group of people will be chaos. Going on to 80th Avenue from our complex south, almost impossible. Getting out on 128th, it's an art. So by adding more dense retail space in there, our parking will just completely, I mean, at this point, we just don't have enough as it stands. The lot's full many times. The other thing I'm going to want to bring into this one is that this particular application has been put through by the strata. Was quite quietly snuck through. A lot of, you probably noticed there was a lot of writings in, or emails in and faxes in about the support, non-support for this rezoning. The cost of it's too high for the people who are in there, but unfortunately the way the strata is set up right now, the people really don't have a say because of one group holding a very large number of strata still. So when one person votes, he gets more than we usually get showing up at our strata meetings. Something to think about. It's a very expensive proposition, this whole thing. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for your comments. Vikram Bubber. And please just state your name and address for the record.
Vikram Bubber, and I'm representing the property Unit 208-8120 128th Street. Good evening, Your Worship and Councillors. What I'd like to is the same sentiments I think that the previous speaker had said, but having been on council for the strata for the previous year and understand how things are working, this is not going to be, I mean, I can understand the rezoning, but the issue here is now we have a building full of professional services who are there and not retail that would not, what I'm speaking on behalf of, they do not want to pay more strata fees to cover whatever additional costs are to rezone this place. I understand the rezoning has to be done, better control on the city's part, because obviously the city does need to help control the issues that we have and we struggled with to deal with. But again, you know, as professional services, we are in both zones as the current zoning and the new proposed commercial development. I think, you know, we don't want to pay $500, $1,000, or whatever it's going to be extra in terms of the strata fees to cover the, you know, whatever the developer or whatever the city may ask in terms of costs and whatever the extra amount is, right? So that is what I'm here for, saying no, it does not make sense that we have no benefit for us to pay for something that is not going to benefit and change us all. So that is why I'm here saying no, we are not going to be paying. If the developer wants to cover 100% of the costs, that's fine. But for anybody on the strata, I know, as you know, it's a very nickel and dime place in Little India, but people will not accept paying more strata fees. And we'll be fighting this to the tooth, saying no, we're not allowing any more fees to go up. And you know, the way the strata council and strata themselves have running, it's like I said, it's all one-handed and not listening to the people that are there paying the bills. So that's why I'm here today, to let all of the councillors know and Your Worship know that, you know, I'm okay with the rezoning, but in terms of who's paying for it, that is something that really has to be discussed.
Okay. And you comply with the current zoning?
I'm sorry?
You comply with
I comply. Our office complies with the current zoning as an office, because we are not retail. We are a business office.
Right. Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18338? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Next bylaw is zoning amended bylaw 18327. The address is 13047 24th Avenue. The applicant is Hui Ling Su. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property from 1 acre residential to childcare in order to permit a childcare center for a maximum of 25 children.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 18327? I have Melvin Hawken written down right here. Please come forward. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Melvin Hawken, 13033 24th Avenue. I lived at my current address, for about approximately 33 years. I've seen the development that's gone on in that area, seen the growth in traffic on 24th, etc. About 10 years ago, I tore the old house on the property down and built a new one. And now, with this application, I see it as a loss of my lifestyle, because it's going from, I'm now going to be living next to basically a commercial facility with people coming and going. And I feel that I'm going to have a diminished lifestyle if this proposal is granted. On Appendix 2, there's some notes from the Fraser Health Authority. 4.1.4 mentions sunshine in the backyard of this facility that they're proposing. There's on the plans, they show putting 4 cedars along the fence, which would be on the east side of my property.
Can we get a site layout, please? Thank you.
In the backyard, you'll notice they propose to put 4 cedars in there. That's on the east side. That's my backyard. What little bit of sunshine I do get in my backyard currently is when those trees mature, I start losing sunshine. So it affects my lifestyle and how I live on my lot. Another issue is the number of people coming and going. I believe it works out to about, during 5 days a week, it works out to about 660 some vehicles coming and going every day, or during the course of the week. 24th Avenue is a busy street, and it seems to be getting busier every year. And it creates a safety issue with traffic coming in and going out of that facility. One of my neighbors was actually in rezoning or subdividing some property he had that's directly across the 24th Avenue from that lot. Had to give up his driveway in order to help to follow along with the plan to reduce traffic flow that does enter and exit off the 24th. And then, based on personal observations, there's currently a daycare right there now. And based on personal observations, the bylaws require that somebody reside there. As I say, I live right next door, and I have not observed anybody in there other than when the daycare is open. So it's an infringement on the bylaws, and I know if this goes, and it's my belief that if this development goes ahead, it's going to, who knows what's going to carry on after that. And I spoke with Luciana Morris from the Planning Department, and she mentioned that one of the conditions in possibly approving this application was, or one of the factors that may lead to the approval of this was that the number of daycares that is currently within the area. I went on the Fraser Health Authority's website and looked up daycares, and within 15 minutes drive, there is easily 30 daycare in the area already.
There's 30 facilities?
30 facilities.
No, I think probably 30 spots. Yeah, I think 30 spots, because we don't have that kind of daycare in the city.
I have the addresses that I copied down.
Move receipt. Okay. All in favor? Contrary? Carried.
And there's 5 along 24th Avenue between 128th and 160th. There is 3 on 128th Street between Crescent Drive and 16th Avenue. And this doesn't include any of the facilities that are listed in the White Rock city. So it seems like this facility is going to end up being a commercial entity, and it won't be single-family residential anymore. And that's one of the reasons, the biggest reason why I'm against this. And that's about all I have to say.
Great. Thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate it. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18327? Please come forward. State your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Blonsky. I'm the architect. My client owns the property just to the east as well, and she has 8 children, and there is a daycare as is permitted in the single-family residential zone, and 8 children in the property in question. So there's a total of 16, and she will be giving up the right to have a daycare in the property to the east. So there will only be 25 kids here, an increase of 9. It will be a commercial venture, you might say, certainly providing a need. But
so
there will be...
Can I just jump in and clarify? So you said that there's an increase of 9 because there's an existing facility there now?
There's 8 children in the present property, and my client owns the property just to the east.
Right.
To the east, she's got 8 there as well. So right now she has a total of 16 children in those 2 properties. She'll be giving up one of those.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Councillor Villeneuve.
There'll just be 1 property.
But currently there's 2 houses with 8 children in each.
That's right.
Correct?
Yeah.
So you're asking for additional 9 spaces, right?
There's going to be a covenant on the property to the east, so there cannot be a childcare there.
Oh.
That's one of the conditions of this been presented here. So getting back to the commercial aspect of this venture over here, there'll be no children there in the evenings or weekends. So it's not like a commercial venture someplace else, a store or a restaurant. With regard to the daylight, pardon me, shadows, we did a shadow diagram for the planning department, and at 10 o'clock, I think there's a drawing showing where the shadows go. They're actually quite minimal, and the cedar trees, which are on the west side of this property, will impose a bit of a shadow on the neighbor's property until noon, of course, and then after that, they'll be getting all the afternoon sun. There's presently about 1,000 kids within 6 blocks of this property, so by adding 9 children over here, the traffic is going to be too small to measure, I think. There will be somebody living upstairs to comply with the bylaw. There's a suite upstairs right now which is not being used, but the entire daycare operation will be on the main floor, and there will be somebody living upstairs to comply with the bylaw. And my client has a waiting list which he's not able to fulfill right now, so there's demand for the services she's providing, and it's very well regarded. If you have any questions, I'd be pleased to answer them.
I do. Yeah. Did you have a public information meeting?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I'm just trying to look and see what we...
The planner was there as well.
Pardon me?
The planner was there.
I can't...
The planner
the
was at the
planner was
meeting.
there. Okay, I'm not worried about the planner. I'm worried about the community. So when you had the open house, was the community, the neighbors were invited?
They were invited.
And how many showed up?
Nobody.
Nobody showed up. Okay. Here we go. I'm just looking at... okay. All right. Any further questions? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18327? First call. Please come forward.
Thank you. My name is Christine Allgard. I'm Director of Precious Seeds Montessori. On your list, it will show up as Brilliant Star Montessori. Just November 13th, I took ownership and am changing the name to Precious Seeds. We're at 132nd Street, which is a few blocks that way, 132nd and 24th. Yes. And I'll be running Precious Seeds from the location where Brilliant Star was. Brilliant Star was established back in 2002 and went through this process. It's a house that has been rezoned, and we have 20 spaces currently. The owner, Farah Marasco, emailed in her comments and has given me permission to speak regarding her process. When they were looking for a facility, they were addressed a development group like this, and they were told they had to choose some location that was not on a main arterial road, and so that's why they chose 132nd, because our access is off of 132nd Street, not 24th Avenue. And also, regarding the guidelines for the location of sitting of child care centers established in 1990, point number 4 notes to avoid the undue concentration of centers. So we're 2 blocks that way, 2 blocks the other way, and it's not noted in the proposal. There's Discovery Time, which is in Crescent Park Elementary, and they have 20 spaces as well. And I've spoke with, I'm not sure if it was brought up yet, but I spoke with their manager and their owner. She says they have 20 spots as well, and they only have 12 registered. So neither us nor them have a waiting list, and we just kind of, we're wondering, like, the waiting list that they're saying, the need in the area, we're not sure what this waiting list is. We think it's misrepresented. We have people that inquire, but it doesn't necessarily mean they will register. They could inquire at 8 different places and be on 8 waiting lists, just waiting for a spot. So we're a little bit uncertain about what that meant, like how old are the children, or, you know, did they just inquire and they went somewhere else? So for us, we don't see that there is a need in this area. There hasn't been major townhouses that have gone up. There isn't major development in that area. We do agree, though, that there is a need for childcare, but not necessarily in this concentrated area. There also is a need for infant childcare, but they're not proposing necessarily to do just that. They're doing a mix of infant and preschool. And so we just, the approach that they've taken, like as one of the other speakers mentioned, they do have 2 properties side by side, 8 children at each. And they've actually shared the backyards. It's kind of unheard of in our field that someone would do that before even rezoning a lot. So it just, to us, kind of raises ethical concerns that, you know, we are early childhood educators, and we really should be working together cooperatively to raise the new, you know, children and serving the families in our community. And we're not really a business of fierce competition, that sort of thing. We're in the business of raising the citizens of tomorrow. So we acknowledge and agree there is a need for early childhood programs, but not necessarily in this specific area, and not necessarily for that age group that they are proposing. We would be okay with it if they, you know, if you approved it and they were somewhere else, a different property. Obviously, that's not the issue at hand, though. Or for a younger age group, and I don't know if you can put a restriction. We do appreciate that there's the restriction on the property beside, because we wouldn't want them to develop both and just kind of take over that whole block. And like I mentioned, we don't really feel there is a need in that area.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you go to the open house?
No, I didn't, but I just, November 13th is when I got ownership of Precious Seeds, so I just learned of it after, in the summertime, so it had already passed. And I learned of it from the previous owner, Farah Marasco, and her husband.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Councillor Villeneuve?
So I'm trying to clarify,
Sure.
You're saying early childhood education. So is your program actual full day care?
We have what's called a group child care license. We're licensed for children who are 30 months to 5-year or school age, 5, 6 years old. That's ours, and we run a full day program at our center for 20
So your kids
children.
are there from morning till late afternoon?
Yeah, from 8 till 4 is what our time is
Okay.
for our facility.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18327? First call. Please state your name and address for the record.
Oh, hi, I'm Huiling Xu. I'm the house owner here. I would like to clarify a couple situation here. Yes, we do have two properties next by each other, and we're running two daycare center, 8 children each property, and they are all full. And we do have a long waiting list because you can see in that neighborhood there are more Chinese families moved in. They are new immigrants. Most of them need help in language. I guess that's why we have a long waiting list here. Most of families are from China. They need a bilingual, English and Mandarin to help them get involved to the society first, because they have no idea what's going on there. The families now doesn't only need the help for the children, taking care of the children, but also need more information to get involved with the new country. I think that's number one. And the other one is we do have 2 licenses there, but my idea is that just because we have I am in educational field for a long time, all my life. I was a teacher in Taiwan. So I take care of the children very well. I love children so much. We offered a really good program here. That is also why my students not only Mandarin speakers, but lots of them, half of them are Caucasian families. We would like to use the facilities well enough. That's why, because we have two classrooms in 2 different buildings, so that makes the resource have to be, so sometimes we are thinking just like, I know the other center, I didn't actually know they are running full-time program. In the beginning, when I had the daycare there, I know they are having preschool, so kind of half-day mornings and half-day afternoons. But it's good to know now. We really want to have 2 teachers with 16 students, better than 1 teacher with 8 children in the classroom. That's what I mean, because when it's a hard job, it's a tough job to take care of children. We all are parents, we know that, and we need, we really want to offer a good care of them. So that's why we always have more. We have a really good ratio. We actually have the ratio 1:4. We have 2 staffs for 8 children at this moment, just because we cannot trust. I personally don't think 1 teacher spend whole day with 8 children is going to help the children learn and have fun and be safe. So that's why. But on the same time, that the budget is really limited. So that's why I got the idea of how about we combine those, try to rezone it, to get 2 classroom students together, and with 2 or 3, even more, 4 staffs around. So, it's a tiring job. So we can actually share the stress and taking good care of the children. That's the most important thing here for me to do the rezoning. I'm not doing this because of the business. I don't really need to rezone it to 24 children in the beginning. It's just because the law says, by law says, for the under residential area, if we want to rezone it, CCR, well, the maximum is 25 children. So that's the,
okay, so my question is this. So you have a license right now.
Yes, I am licensed.
On both properties.
That's right.
8 children here, 8 children. So you've got 16 children there that are already licensed.
That's right.
So
and we do have a long waiting list still, right?
Okay. So basically what we're doing is talking about an increase of 9 spots.
Yes, that's right. And those 9 spots, most of them are from our siblings, because we have a family. Especially. So 1 property here now is having multi-age, so we can actually provide 3 spots for the age under 3 years old, and the other one is Montessori program. It's more preschool learning, so we do have a really nice program here, and that is also why the parents are waiting, really want to get in. We feel sorry to say no to them. And then since we got a really nice park right there, and children here, they enjoy the outdoor time, the park in the Crescent Park. It's just like a Forest Elementary School or, a kindergarten there.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And I just think the neighbors that you heard speak was just concerned about the interface. In terms of one collective building and the interface with the other properties. So.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
We are really open to the neighbors. If they would like to talk to us, we can work something out together. We don't really mind to do lots of work with them. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18327? First call. Second call. Sir, you've already spoken. And that is it. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Next bylaw is zoning amendment bylaw 18329. The civic address is 2904 160th Street and 2954 161A Street. The applicants are Keewell and Amarjeet Atwal and Athwal Construction. Fleetwood Commerce Court Incorporated and the City of Surrey. The applicant is seeking to rezone the site from 1 acre residential to comprehensive development to single-family residential 9, single-family residential 12, and single-family residential in order to subdivide into 32 single-family lots.
Okay, thank you. I've got two speakers. Okay, Januzowski, please come forward. State your name and address for the record, please.
I know it's complicated. Jacek Januszewski, and I live at 1612.
Sir, can you move the microphone up to your, yeah.
I live at 16182 30th Avenue.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, when the homeowners of the area located right adjacent north to the rezoning area were purchasing the lots and building their homes, we were all told that the rezoning area is a green belt that will remain in place and will become part of the park that is supposed to stretch further to the west across 160th Street. Right now, we're hearing that all the trees over there will be cut down. There will be homes built, and there is supposed to be a major sewer line constructed in that area. I was told by Mr. Bersma from the planning department that the reason why all the trees have to be cut down is because of that sewer line that is supposed to service the entire area. There is a street that will be built there, and we were wondering why is it that the sewer line cannot be located underneath the street? Why all these trees have to be cut down? Surrey, not that long ago, used to call itself the City of Parks. What's happening?
Well, let me ask the engineers the question. Is there a reason why the sewer can't be built underneath the roadway?
Madam Mayor, we've based on the preliminary design for that sewer, we do have to push it as far north as possible to capture as much of the area as possible with the gravity sewer. So it is just to the north of the road alignment currently. Of course, that was preliminary design. We do have to do detailed design yet to confirm that.
Okay.
As the homeowners of Morgan Acres, we understand that right now the Surrey is the city of the future. Great. Let's just not lose the sight of the trees that are disappearing in that area. With the growth in Grandview Corners, Morgan Crossing, Morgan Heights, with all the stores, the townhomes being built in the area, there is no more trees left. That used to be a green zone in South Surrey. It's becoming a concrete desert. It's sad. On top of everything, the properties just north of the proposed rezoning area are steeply sloped. The homes that are built south of the rezoning area, the trees that used to grow there, once they were cut down, we have much more water coming down the slope into our gardens. With the trees that remain right now gone, I'm going to buy a canoe. It's going to be crazy. If those trees have to be cut down, we respectfully demand that, number one, there will be proper drainage constructed to take care of all that excess water. And number two, that after that sewer line is laid down, that the city will plant trees on its own property. Part of that property belongs to the city. And we're hoping to have trees that are taller than 5 feet, to have some greenery and some privacy as well. I left with the office of the clerk 36 signatures of 36 homeowners from Morgan Acres. We really hope that the council will hear us and that something can be still changed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for your comments. Is Gary Cameron?
Madam Mayor, councillors and staff, my name is Gary Cameron. I live at 2763 165 Street. First, let me start by thanking Mayor Watts and Councillor Rossotti for their service to this community. I understand that the applicant is proposing to dedicate 29% of this site, which is 2.05 acres, to riparian and park space with 86 trees in the open space riparian area retained. However, 178 alder and cottonwood trees will be cut down, 61 of 64 deciduous and coniferous trees will be cut down, and only 75 trees in total will be replaced, even though 300 replacement trees are required. Past experience suggests that some of these young replacement trees will not survive for various reasons. This will result in a cash in lieu payment of $67,500 to the Green City Fund. We know that Surrey's tree canopy has been very seriously depleted over the last 15 years, primarily because of overdevelopment, and looks to me like this proposal is an example of that, since it involves a deficit of 225 replacement trees. Obviously, allowing developers to pay cash in lieu payments for trees they are not replacing, rather than forcing them to conform to sustainable development practices that preserve mature trees on site, is contributing to the significant loss of our tree canopy. Madam Mayor, I'm addressing this through you to Mayor-elect Hepner. I'd like to know specifically how you and your council propose to deal with this problem from now on, starting with this development proposal. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. Can you? Can I just have a look at the map, the overlay on the aerial? No, the aerial map. Okay. And I do have another question for staff here. There was, and I noticed just in terms of the small lots. I think I read that in here. So I think we, through our policy, we were not permitting those. Like the small lots.
Madam Mayor, the small lots are the few that's fronting onto 160th Street, and also the lots south of the proposed road. These are RF 12 lots, and these are RF 9 lots. And then there are 3 large RF lots to interface with the larger lots to the east. And the proposed RF lots are similar to the development that is occurring to the south.
Okay, so that's in line with that. Okay, so, and these small lots, what was the rationale for the small lots here, fronting 160th?
It is because the lot to the south.
I'm just trying to find it. Okay.
Is the lot to the south along 160th Street is already RF9 lots. And there's also an application here that has about 3 or 4 RF9 lots that is sitting at third reading.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Would it be possible to get an answer from Councillor Hepner on this?
Well,
Thank you for the question. It's important to note that 93,000 more trees have been planted in the city of Surrey to make up for the loss of canopy, and we actually have under our Green Surrey plan a canopy plan that utilizes the Green City Fund for exactly that, reestablishing canopies when they're lost to small lot development. Thank you.
Might I ask a follow-up question? My question was about sustainable development practices, on particular trees on site that could be preserved with those sustainable development practices, rather than cutting them, pretty much clear cutting.
Yeah. Okay, you're asking me if we're going to use sustainable build. I didn't hear the first part of this.
Okay, my question basically is this. What is your policy, Councillor Hepner, going to be?
Okay, this is not a back and forth with Councillor Hepner. If you have a question, direct it through me, the chair, please.
I thought I had. Directing it through you, Councillor Hepner.
No, do you have a question? Please just ask a question without single out any councillor.
Okay, my question is particularly pertaining to sustainable development practices, which would mean preserving trees on site rather than having in lieu payments for trees that will be planted somewhere else. That's my question.
Well, we do have sustainable practices, and there's sometimes when there's areas that are developed that we buy tracts of land. Like, I mean, we've bought 56 acres that is in perpetuity. We've got tracts, and that's where that money goes.
I understand that. What I'm asking is, in particular with this site, basically it's being clear-cut for all intents and purposes, except for the riparian area. And what I'm asking is, why not try and leave some trees on site rather than spending that money to buy trees somewhere else?
Yeah, no, and I hear what you're saying, and that comes to the site layout, it comes to the servicing, and those will all be addressed through the course of the process.
And of course my question is, why not have less density housing and lots on those properties so you can retain a few of these trees?
Okay. Well, this is an application that was brought forward, so we're getting information from the general public in order to make that decision. So this proposal is a proposal that the applicant that owns the land brought forward.
And that's my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18329?
Good evening. Deb Jack, Surrey Environmental Partners. Pardon me. One of the difficulties in responding with regards to proposals such as this is that the package does not include a layout of where it is the trees are located. So one is not able to make any comment with regards to the specificity of that. In addition to which, it's difficult to respond fully when we don't have any idea of what is going to be happening in the future to that area of land that is to the south noted as RF12, because that is part of this drainage area for riparian, and on the other side of it, which on one of the maps is called number 5. There is in the package this evening an indication that there's a piece of land, I'm not sure how to explain this. That bar that says CD and the hatched part, there is a triangle of land which, as I understand from an item in the package this evening, is going to be sold to the developer. Yeah, this This is the one that's number 121, and this over here is number 5.
Is that the park?
And then there's a triangle here that's being sold to the developer. Okay. So I was indeed able to find out that that little triangle at the top that's identified as park is going to be sold by Parks. There's an indication in the package this evening. But I'm wondering what the future plans are for what's identified as Part 121 to the south and number 5 to the north, because that all seems to me to be encompassing this area that's given as a reason for the park part to be a park. Sorry.
Okay, so that whole area will be park. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes?
That's correct.
Okay.
It will be ultimate. Excellent. Glad to hear it. With regards to the issue of the trees, I've made note, it's interesting that all of the trees are referred to as protected. And I'm thinking that maybe we need to change that wording, because what we're talking about is 242 trees, of which 3 will be retained, and that is inclusive of the alder, cottonwood, etc. But of the ones that we think of as being protected, we need another word, because actually we're going to be allowing 61 of them to be destroyed. So they're not really being protected. They ought not to be referred to as that. And I think that's perhaps a misunderstanding that a lot of people get when they're taking a look at some of the proposals.
Okay, fair enough.
And just wanted to say that I think it's really good that we're going to get 29% of that particular property for parkland. And it's going to be natural area, as I understand, because it's riparian.
Yes, and that is natural area, forested. Can we see the overview and see what that outline of that whole entire piece?
So that that encompasses what I referred to as the section 121 to the south and the section 5 to the north.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18329? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 183...
Sorry, hang on a sec. Sorry, did you...
I just thought I would ask.
Okay, sorry, hang on just a sec. You stood up and I just called it.
Madam Mayor, Clarence Erichuk with Hunter Laird Engineering. We're the consultants for the development. We were also designers and consultants for the development to the south. This is the 2005 NCP that was approved by Council. As you can see, the top right-hand corner of the block where it says the arrow, that is the park that was targeted for this area, and the city had acquired that through the development of the parcel on the north side. Through the development of the property to the south, we discovered wetlands and riparian areas that warranted retention, and we did an extreme clustering of the development. So the small lots that were referred to earlier in that were to try and retrieve enough density to justify the developments, but also to maintain the density that was in there. In fact, the density of the development with all the open space, which I think on this site is 30%, it was about the same on the site to the south, will result in significantly more open space. And if you keep in mind the drawing that you have on there now, and the next one is a copy of Cosmos, which shows how much green space will be in that block when the development before you completes this neighborhood. It's significantly more. It also includes non-riparian lands. Through the purchase of the parklands, there were lands that are outside of the wetland riparian protection zones in this area that are equal in the area. I believe that it's very close, if not equal. In terms of the small lots that were referred to, they are completing the streetscape on 160th Street, which Mr. Lai explained. 2904 will complete an extension of the lane. We've pushed the lane to the east to make the lots deeper, so they are larger to address the new council standards. And it connects to a lane that is going to be built in conjunction with the parcel to the north, 2932. Finally, the comment about the sewer alignment. The sewer alignment is defined in the NCP and in Surrey's infrastructure plans. That alignment has not changed from the original NCP when there was no development plan for these areas. That alignment will service a broader area, and it's being maintained. Through the existing park, the design that has been done to date for the sewer and what will extend through this property is very sensitive to the retention of trees. There is sections of it will be bored under the trees where it's possible, and the environmental consultants are going to provide guidance to the construction to ensure that the trees in the riparian, the quality of the riparian area is not damaged through the construction of the sewer. And we've actually moved the park greenways and everything around that sensitive area, which will be the, I think it's called the Grandview Ridge Trail or something, has a name, but the greenway that's through there will be built outside of that sensitive area as well. So I believe we've addressed the things that the people have asked for through the details already done on the site plan. Thank you.
Okay. And is there any opportunity in terms of the design of that sewer to, if you move it, that sewer line, move it to retain additional trees?
I think the sewer alignment's pretty much servicing a much bigger area. It extends all the way out to Area 4 in Grandview Heights. So it's a major infrastructure alignment. What we've done is, in designing it, we're using special techniques to retain trees. But it's going to be replanted as well. There's a greenway to be built there, which will have a path and additional planting added to it. It's already, parts of it have been built west of 160th Street.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Madam Mayor, I just wanted to explain about the gravity sewers.
Yes.
During the original NCP, there was some ground truthing to find out the optimal location for that to service the catchment. So that's somewhat cast in stone in the sense that there can be some movement, but very little to optimize the gravity sewage going into that main.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk.
Next bylaw is zoning amendment bylaw 18330. The civic address is 13924 24th Avenue. The applicants are William and Karen Lane. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property from 1 acre residential to half-acre residential in order to subdivide into 2 single-family suburban lots. In addition, a development variance permit is being sought to reduce the rear yard setback on proposed Lot 1 in order to retain the existing dwelling.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 18330? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Ed Beauregard, 2462 139th Street. I just have a question on this. I noticed in the description of this that the sewer line which runs along 24th Avenue will be extended to the east to service these properties. On 139th, that cul-de-sac, 7 of the 8 properties are on septic, and I'm just wondering how far does that sewer line go, and is there any opportunity here for Surrey to run that up and service the properties on the 139th cul-de-sac?
Okay. Mr. Engineer.
Pull out some background maps here. The sewer currently extends from, if you look where we have Chanterelle written, approximately 24th Avenue, where we've got the text 24th Avenue. I would say just across from, right there. That's right, that's where the sewer extends currently. The developer for this site will be responsible to extend the sewer further east to do their entire frontage. So there's already a sewer in 24th Avenue and also within 138th Street. There's also a sewer extension in place currently from 23A Avenue north towards 24th Avenue. Perhaps the delegation can clarify exactly where.
Well, if you run I'm at 2462, so if you look at the 139th cul-de-sac, the property in the lower left is serviced by sewer. Everyone else is on septic fields. I think we're the only properties for miles and miles that are still on septic.
Okay, where are you? Where's your property?
2462. It's the third on the right.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. So the 7 properties, excepting the one in the lower left, are all on septic fields.
We could, I don't have business cards here with me, but I could speak to the delegation and we'll clarify the process to do a sewer extension petition with the city.
Okay,
thank you.
Perfect, great, thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to bylaw number 18330? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Is zoning amendment bylaw 18331. The applicant is Prime Time Abbey Lane Incorporated. The applicant is seeking to amend the comprehensive development bylaw number 16410 in order to permit a care facility and eating establishment within a mixed-use commercial residential seniors facility.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 18331? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 18333 and Zoning Amendment Bylaw 18334. The address is 15877 16th Avenue. The applicant is Surtage Homes and Development Limited. The applicant is seeking to redesignate the property from urban to multiple residential and rezone from single-family residential and multiple residential 30 in order to construct an 11-unit townhouse development. In addition, a development variance permit is being sought in order to reduce the front, side yard, and rear setbacks in order to accommodate a road dedication along 16th Avenue to achieve a more functional site plan.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 18333? First call, second call, third and final call. Next bylaw, Madam Clerk.
Next bylaw is Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw 18335 and Zoning Amendment Bylaw 18336. The address 14129 and 14191 34th Avenue. The applicant is Heeman Zhang. The applicant is seeking to remove the site from the Semiahmoo Suburban Exemption Areas map and rezone the site from 1-acre residential and half-acre residential gross density in order to subdivide into 5 single-family residential lots and 2.4 hectares of parkland dedication containing the site of the former Elgin landfill. In addition, a development variance permit is being sought to reduce the minimum lot width on Lot 3 from 30 meters to 22.2 meters.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak to bylaw number 18335? First call. Deb.
Deb Jack, Surrey Environmental Partners. I forgot to give my address earlier, 7680 143th Street here in Surrey.
We know where to find you.
So often I come up here to ask a question, sometimes make some criticisms that are relatively harsh and all the rest of it. So I'm really tickled to be able to say that in this report on page 8, there is an excellent section on biodiversity conservation strategy. And it makes it very clear. And just wanted to let Council know that really appreciate that.
Okay. Great.
It's good to see that terrific policy being so well implemented.
Why, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your work on that policy. All right. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to this bylaw 18335? First call, second call, third and final call. And that concludes this portion of the public hearing. And we'll go into committee reports, environmental sustainability. Can somebody
Move
move?
the Environmental Sustainability Advisory Committee report from September 17th.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Councillor for
I'll move
Development?
the minutes of the Cultural Development Advisory Committee of October 21st.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Board of Variance?
Move the Board of Variance minutes, September the 10th.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? Carried. Surrey Heritage?
Move Surrey Heritage Advisory Commission minutes of October 29th.
Second.
And move the recommendation be adopted.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Now I have one proclamation here under the Mayor's Report, A Day for Our Common Future. Efforts to protect our lands and waters includes measures for conservation, biodiversity, habitat, and watershed protection that integrate renewable resource, climate adaptive, and sustainable development initiatives. The residents, businesses, governments, and communities have the opportunity to implement recommendations that balance our society's needs and nature's needs while furthering global goals for sustainable development. And therefore, let it be resolved that I declare December 11th as a day for our common future in the City of Surrey. And one other thing under the Mayor's Report, and I know that this is our last meeting of this current Council, and so I just wanted to present Councillor Rasodi with a little token and say thank you very much for being elected from 2006 to 2014. Well, thank you very much. Okay, going into corporate reports.
Move corporate report R191, the transfer to Surrey City Development
Second.
Corporation of the beneficial interest in property at 3733 192 Street.
All in
Second.
favor? Contrary? That is carried. R192.
Move the approval of the sale of the closed road portion on 138th Street.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. R193.
May I move Phase 2 of the Bridgeview Vacuum System Replacement Program.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. R194.
I'll move the recommendation.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. R195.
Move sale of surplus city at 2954 161A Street.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. R196.
Move the acquisition of property at 5991 126.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried.
Move the purchase of natural gas for the civic facilities.
Second.
R197. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. R198.
Move the
Tree
tree
risk abatement services contract.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried.
Move the environmental study for the South Campbell Heights
Second.
Special Study Area.
Okay. All
The
in
terms
favor?
of reference.
All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Okay, going into bylaws, third reading, number 1.
Move third on one, Madam Mayor.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Number 2, that's the strata.
You want to speak to that?
Yep. Can I get to?
Madam Mayor, if I could, I'm going to request that we refer this item back to staff, and I think there's really 3 areas that I wanted to concentrate on. One is having the strata speak to the concerns that were presented today by some of the strata owners themselves. I also wanted to have perhaps legal look at some of the issues that were presented today in context to some of the uses that are being proposed now and some of the uses that potentially could be under the commercial application. And thirdly, I think that I've had some discussions with engineering, but certainly the access and egress out of Powell Business Center is very confusing at best, and I think that really need to look at those 3 items before we have staff bring this item back. So I will be moving referral.
Second.
Okay. Alrighty. Councillor Hepner.
Thanks, Andrew. I can support referral back, but I think it's important to note that this is the area where we actually asked Metro Vancouver as well to assist us in making sure that those areas were defined more properly as commercial within a cultural corridor of the Punjabi market area. So this is the poison we asked for. And I think the clarification around how can we advantage those that are in existing professional services in that area without seeing an increase in that strata fee is an important question. But those who are operating in an industrial area and having commercial businesses have got to accept the fact that there is going to be an extra charge attached to those strata businesses, or otherwise they're going to have to revert back to the industrial use that that we originally thought that was going to be there. So I think there's a couple of things going on here, and I will support it going back, but we do need to recognize that that is the area that we wanted to recognize as being a cultural corridor for existing commercial businesses. Thank you.
I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Number 3.
Move third on 3, Madam Mayor.
Second.
And I just want to make a point here, and that the applicant work with the neighbors on this, because I think there may be some misunderstanding in terms of exactly what's going to what is being proposed, and also the buffering I think is going to be a key issue. So. Councillor Villeneuve?
I just think that it's important to clarify, too, that when they mentioned there was that number of daycares within that small designated area, I think they were possibly referring to daycares of 8 children. Certainly not daycares of 25 children, because we all know that actually there's a shortage and demand for daycare in the city. So I think that many of them are offering a variety of early childhood education and care, but a lot of them are licensed just for 8 children.
Okay. And I think that's good to note that, there's already 2 existing licenses that accommodate 16 children. So, Councillor Hittler?
I think, as well, Madam Mayor, it was important to note that they were offering oftentimes services that we see are in need as children approach elementary school level, and that is that if English is a second language, they do need the dual language services early on, and I'm appreciative of the fact that those are being offered here, so I support this application.
Okay, thank you. I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. Number 4?
I'll move third on 4, please.
Okay. Do I have a seconder?
Second. Second that.
Councillor Hain?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I just wanted to make mention of looking at this application and the amount of parkland that's been dedicated to it, and with not just in the riparian area, but the parkland around it. We talked about sustainable development earlier, and there was questions about sustainable development, and sustainable development to me is clustering and having higher density in one area so that you can protect another area, rather than low density across the board. And I think this is an example of that. We've been able to retain a large area and add to that area for parkland and riparian area, while clustering density on smaller lot sizes. And quite frankly, on those small lot sizes, you can't get significant large mature tree retention in those areas, so you have to do it elsewhere, and that's why the biodiversity conservation strategy that Deb Jack mentioned earlier. So I think there is that balance, and I think and we're working towards that. So in not every development can you save all the trees, but if you're working towards saving trees in another area, then it's balancing out. So those are my comments on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried.
I'll move third on 5.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? Carried.
Move third on 6.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary?
Move
Carried.
final adoption.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? Carried.
Move third on 7.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? Carried.
On the zoning bylaw, move third.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? Carried.
On number 8, on the OCP, move third.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary? Carried.
Move the zoning bylaw, move third.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move final on 9.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move final on 10.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move final on 11.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move first on number 12.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move second.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move third.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move first on 13.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move second.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move third.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move first on 14.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move second.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move third.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
15 is out of
Is
order.
out of order.
Okay. Clerk's report, 1A.
Move 1A.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Move 1B.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
Development variance 1C.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
And D, development variance.
Second.
All in favor? Contrary carried.
And
2A.
move 2A on temporary use permit.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, sorry.
Just on 2A, Madam Mayor, I know that the Community Association had expressed some concern, so there's a couple items that I was hoping that staff could address prior to finalizing this TUP. One is the driveway elevations. I think the community is concerned that the elevations into the site may impact visual view of the trucks coming in and coming out of the proposed site. And also I understand that MOTI is supporting this application, but certainly I think the community expressed concerns about how a truck traveling on the outside lane potentially would be able to access and egress the site while at the same time remaining in the far right lane. So really want to make sure that staff address those two issues prior to finalizing that TUP.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. And acting mayor appointments?
I'll move
the recommendation. Second.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. And any notices of motion? No? Okay. Other business? I've just got a couple of things. And being that this is my last meeting, I'm going to get her done. So earlier today, we had our finance meeting in which we passed from the Beautification Fund and Council initiative to be allocated to the Rising Sun Community Gardens. And I see Mike is here, so that was done earlier today in finance for that project. Secondly, there's the Cloverdale Cenotaph, and which is located between the library and where the cenotaph sits, and we've got the our Remembrance Day and Veterans. Right now it's called Heritage Square, and I'm going to put a motion forward that we change that to Veterans Square. So can I move that forward and have?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary? That is carried. And wait a second, I've got some. Oh, Councillor Rosodi, did you?
Not on this topic, but just after.
Okay.
I had pressed the button before you started.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. No, you go ahead first, and then I'll.
And then also too, there's the my issue that my long-suffering issue about stick trees that drives me crazy when I see them in medians and all over the boulevards. So I would like to put a motion forward that it would be a combination of evergreens and these stick trees. The deciduous trees as a combination. So can we have that as a...
I'll move that in your honor.
Thank you.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, contrary carried. And I think we did I do the motion on the cenotaph?
Yes.
Yeah, that's already done. Perfect. Okay. Councillor Rosodi.
Oh, thank you, Madam Mayor. As it is my last meeting, I wanted to take this opportunity to just say how much I've enjoyed the honor and the privilege of serving the residents of the city. I wanted to first and foremost thank staff. Not only are our staff responsive, but the care that they have for both the work that they do in the city is both commendable and recognized across the region. So to each and every one of you, please take forward my gratitude to all of the employees in your department. I also want to congratulate Mayor-elect Linda Hepner and the 3 councillor-elects who are in the audience tonight, and I'm sure that as we work with you to build a better city together, that I have no doubt our future is in very good hands. Madam Mayor, I wanted to thank you for your leadership. Your time as a councillor and your time as a mayor, I think, is not only recognized but can be seen throughout the city, and I thank you for your vision and your leadership. And so I just wanted to say overall a great big thank you to everybody.
Great. Thank you. And Councillor Hepner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is my privilege and my honor to have been chosen to speak tonight as you have your last council meeting, and to acknowledge the service that you have given to the people of the City of Surrey for not only the 9 years that you have led us as a mayor, but also the 9 years that you served on council. So the exemplary public service over the last 18 years, and the integrity that you have brought to this position, and the vision that you have shown not only towards the City of Surrey, but what it is like to be a leader, I think has been exemplary and has been a real showcase for us and all of us who have served on your team, and to the staff here who have participated in watching this city grow under your leadership and your vision for nearly 2 decades. We've cataloged in this wonderful book in your honor. It's just a beautiful coffee table book that I know you will enjoy. It is all of the pictures of so many of the places and community events that you have personally attended, and I can't wait for you to look at it, because it's just been an enormously successful job done by the staff and all, and thank you so much for it, because you're just going to love that book. And then this, to also acknowledge you and to say we will honor you in this city for your vision, and we promise we will take care of your trees, and we promise that we will build on your behalf the great city that you have started and the vision that you have given to all of us. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your friendship. And on behalf of all of council and all of staff, for your 18 years of service to this city.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so very much. I'm not going to open the book because I'll probably cry. So I'll wait. I'll do that in the privacy of my own home. But, you know, I have to say that everybody around this table and the staff here as well, you know, we started this a number of years ago, and we all had a collective vision. And I do believe that we've put our heart and soul into the decisions that we made and the vision that was created. And I feel that as I leave, that this city is in good stead. And I congratulate Mayor Hepner, well, Mayor-elect. I'm on a couple more days, but Mayor Hepner, the new council members that are here today, Dave Woods, Mike Starchuk, and Vera LaFranc, and all the council members here around this table. You know, it's public service is not an easy job, and being staff to public as we do our job is not an easy job as well. But I have been blessed. I've been very, very blessed with a wonderful community, a supportive community, great residents, and I think like I said, every step of the way we've tried to do it right. And although not everybody agrees with everything that we do, we have really taken the time and hopefully opened the doors to gain a lot of input and doing our very best as we move forward. So I thank you very much, and I want to wish everybody all the very best. And I'll come and visit and sit in the gallery once in a while.
Would you like to move adjournment?
Thank you. Yes, Councillor.
Madam Mayor, I'm not going to let you off that early.
That easy.
Certainly, just kind of reflecting on our journey prospectively of the last 9 years, we've gone through a lot. There's been some good times, there's been some bad times, and some ugly times at times. But certainly, we have addressed many long-standing issues on this council. I am personally very proud of being part of your legendary legacy. That's what I call it. You are a very unique individual. You have a great vision. You had a great leadership that you taught us with, and you had a very unique laughter and a smile to get the job done. So thank you for everything you've done. I've personally grown under your stewardship, and I personally thank you from the bottom of my heart. You'll be sadly missed.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, good. Oh, no.
Well, I have had. I have journeyed through a number of mayors and councils, and really the last 9 years under the leadership of Mayor Watts were certainly my most productive, and I think one of the more productive councils of our age in Surrey since I've been here, which is a quarter of a decade. And what I always appreciated and loved about Diane was that she shared a lot of my social passion and care for the vulnerable people in our community. And I think our nonprofit sector and our residents that haven't had a voice gained a voice under your leadership and the leadership of all this council over the years. So for that, I think many people are indebted to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And with that, I will call for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, contrary, and that is carried.